Hello, welcome in to our June altar space for our collective week ahead card pulls. It's Sunday evening on Father's Day here in the US. So happy Father's Day to all who are celebrating, all who play this invaluable role. And of course, as my prior message said, sending love out to all in need of fathering as well and connecting in with that inner child energy on this day too. So we are going to dive right in. It's a big week because it culminates with solstice. That's right. On the other end of this week, we will be stepping into summer or winter solstice, depending on where you are in the world. So we've got an extra deck out here. I've been itching to consult this one too. It is the Seasons of the Witch Litha Oracle for midsummer, for this celebration of the turning of the wheel and the arrival of summer. So we will consult that here at the end for a card pull ahead of solstice, which means first we're going to dip in and pull our oracle message for the week from the Gateway of Light Activation, this beautiful deck that has been giving us these portals or openings to Ascension this month as we've been tapping into this gorgeous tarot deck, the Ascension Tarot as well. So that will be our featured section of the messages here when we tap in to pull our 5 tarot cards for this week ahead. I'm super curious what's going to come up because, as you may know, if you tuned in last week, we had some repeats from the week before, most notably the Magician. I had major Magician energy happening for me last week. And it's been a whirlwind. I haven't been able to share. I'm hoping that I'll be able to kind of pull together all of the things and share something here in the coming week. It's been wild, this wrapping up of one season and time. For me, it was with the kids in school and schedules shifting and changing. And there's family members traveling and coming and going and milestones and all kinds of things happening in this 3D practical way that sometimes can be a little challenging for the Aquarian parts of me that just want to sit all day and do all the fun spiritual things. And yet we're continuously brought back to this space where the spiritual is in the everyday, in the mundane, in the physical experience that we have through our relationships is where so much of the learning, growing, healing, and expanding happen on soul level. So we'll see what comes up this week to kind of support how we are ascending and what has been coming forward as we go. So let me get started. I'm going to do Bob Marley. I'm feeling a little One Love energy here with this joy. I will be setting up the solstice altar this week, and I'm going to have a very special guest. Those of you that were here last year know that my youngest daughter, Elena Joy, she is 9 now. She did our solstice altar last year, and it was really cool just to have it infused with play and childlike wonder and just the through that lens. And I will record her setting up the altar, and I'll be putting together a very special preview. And then, of course, my solstice readings are going to be available. They're available now for booking. So if you want to peep the link, they're going to be done in the order that they're booked. They'll be available for a month. I'm going to give you a quick peek here at the summer solstice one. This is a super fun spread. So I also have a winter solstice. So depending on where you are in the world, these readings are now available to be booked. Especially if you had a year ahead reading with me or if you had an equinox reading, it's a great way to continue this conversation, each quarter, each season as we're moving through. So stay tuned for more on that, but I just want to get things started with that joy, sun energy, that we have a beautiful portal to step into in this coming week. We have some other astrological weather going on, some pretty big things happening today and into this week that I'll talk about here in a moment on the other side of the card pulls. If you are tuning in here on the Empowerment Sharecast on the Marco Polo app, then this is my free space where we do this every week. On the other side of this video, we will roll into the intuitive messages, astrological weather, etc. If you're seeing this in one of my social media spaces, hello, I'm Marissa. This is Grow in the Flow, where we do some fun, intuitive tarot and oracle card readings from a very practical, applicable perspective to weave into our day-to-day and a whole bunch of other stuff. So just check it out because it's free, it's fun. If you would like a personal card pull, you can send me a message, and I do that over on that free space. So without further ado, let's get shuffling into the Gateway of Light activation. Throwing those around. Yeah, I feel like I've just been on the run, so I haven't gotten to sit here at the altar for several days. So it's good to be stepping back in here. Of course, this is going to be that awkward week where everybody's home now. And so snacks will be eaten. Siblings will be having a lot of togetherness. Again, I remain flexible and open to flowing as best I can. And thank you for doing the same with me. But as I say, if you would like a personal card pull this week, please feel free to reach out to me. You can quick reply here on the Sharecast or send me a message in any way that works for you. And I will make my way in here as the week unfolds. So let's see where we're starting with this Gateway of Light activation. One card here for us. Ooh, beautiful. Star being healing codes. Important information. Wounds are healed, recharging. Well, look at that. The earth just being enrobed in this beautiful healing light. How needed at this time. Wow, really beautiful. So we will delve into the Oracle's message for this card when we start things off on the other side of the energetic weather here in a few moments. And now let's see what's coming up. I'm going to put the One Love energy over here with that. What's coming up from the Ascension Tarot for this week, our 5-card spread, which again, each day of the week is a placeholder for the intentions, but these energies are weaving together throughout the week, and you are always invited to take what resonates, leave the rest. That's how it works with a collective reading. There's always someone there to pick it up. I love hearing from you as to how the wild ways these things play out. Like I said last week, that Magician card was, I had so many things come up in the best way, because it was sort of, a teachable moment for me to truly remember that aspect of you have all the tools you need. You need to use them, right? You need to remember that you have this at your disposal. And sometimes it requires a little outside of the box thinking, a little creativity. So let's see what comes up this week. Monday is the card that represents setting the tone for the week, kicking us off. So what's going to be that front runner here for our 5 tarot cards? Ooh, 6 of Cups. That's actually what I thought winked at me when I was just throwing the cards around here. Beautiful. Inner child. So nice. I actually plan tomorrow to do the solstice altar with my daughter. So this is perfect because this is that card of childhood and simpler times and that innocence. So I love this. And what a fun card. I haven't actually seen this one yet with the decks this month so far. So we will definitely talk about how that may show up this week for all. For Monday's energy, kicking it off. And now Tuesday represents our potential blocker challenge. So what may be coming through here as a potential? Gumming up the works, but perhaps sometimes a challenge in the best way, a challenge to self. So let's see what's coming in to support us there. Ooh, the Queen of Crystals, Queen of Pentacles. How fun is this? I love it. So yeah, again, so important to get grounded. I mentioned in my prior message over on the Sharecast that there can be frustration when we're super busy, and this is definitely like a matriarch, running the household kind of energy here. It can be really challenging when there's so much going on that we get kind of out of our routine, or we just kind of long for some sense of, normalcy. And a lot of us are in that in-between time. So whether we're talking about, school ending, schedules changing, seasons of life, all of it, that we're still trying to find our footing. So I love that barefoot energy is reminding me, get grounded and really connecting with earth and getting outside. So we'll talk more about that, but this is a gorgeous card. And there's all kinds of little furry friends popping up too. So I'll zoom in on that when we get into Tuesday. Wednesday is going to be our midweek blessing. Midweek blessing for Wednesday. So what's coming through for us? Card here for Wednesday. Eight of Wands. It's so interesting. We're seeing different cards now. I mean, I'm seeing cards I didn't even see for the Empowerment Pack when we did the month ahead readings for everyone that's with me this month for those comprehensive sessions. These are all new cards. So I'm really feeling some fresh energy here, building up to solstice, building up to the arrival of Cancer season. So let's see what else we get, if we get any dupes or we continue to go on this trajectory of new. So that was the Eight of Wands, picking up the pace and things really moving and shaking. So let's see. Thursday's energy is going to be how we are growing. And last Thursday is where we got that Magician again, to where it really felt like this position in the spread every week in June, it's not just how we're growing this week. You know, it's this month, it's this season, it's this very pivotal time in the year. So all of the Thursday cards that we've been getting so far are all speaking to that energy of how are we growing individually and collectively. Remembering that the last place that it shows up is the physical. And so that's why when you look outside, when you look on the news, when you look in your news feed, it sure as hell may not look like, may not look like there's a whole lot of growth going on, but these cards have been significant and a great time of growing and expansion going on here with the physical yet to catch up. So with that being said, what's coming in for Thursday this week vis-a-vis the entire month and season? Yes, the death energy. So endings and new beginnings, transformation, metamorphosis. And we see, again, here is that symbol of the gateway, the portal that we are approaching, but coming through the shadow, coming through that which can no longer be sustainable, that no longer supports, stripping away the skins, shedding the skins of the soul, picked clean to the bone, major, right? Major arcana, significant energy. Last week was the Magician. This week we have death. So no goosebumps going on over here for sure. No question. Okay, Friday sums up the week, puts a little punctuation mark there, and then we'll finish things off with our Seasons of the Witch Litha message for solstice in the weekend to come. So let's see. Friday's card. Oh, that's great. The Page of Swords. That's amazing. Oh my gosh. Yes. We're beginning and ending with this childlike wonder, this childlike energy. And I mean, just so you guys can see, since if you only see it on my social media spaces and don't check out the Sharecast on Marco Polo, just look how awesome with this gorgeous card. And this one with this, and look at the earth energy. I love this. So yes, I geek out like this over there. All the connection, the earth energy. And also this Page of Swords is bringing in the air element as we are kind of doing the swan song to Gemini season here as Friday wraps up, because Cancer season on the other side, when we step into the weekend and into solstice, the flower of life, beautiful. Love it, Dani'el. Gorgeous. This deck is just beautiful. Okay, let's pick our card here from the Seasons of the Witch Litha, which is going to be heading into solstice. And like I said, I'm going to be delving much further into this with the special. These solstice readings that are available for booking now, your choice, the summer or winter spread, is a full-fledged video you will get with the astrology around solstice. We'll have ways of working with the sun energy, with Cancer season, and then your personal spread, which is going to include color, crystal, spirit, animal energy, and more. So this is just going to kind of be the tip of the iceberg in terms of a card for our focus as we step into solstice next weekend, the 20th or 21st, depending on where you are in the world when it peaks. Let's see what's coming forward for us. Seasons of the Witch. Sunstone. Card 40. In the uniqueness of who you are lives a world yet to be discovered. Beautiful. So we will feel into that message as well, moving through our week ahead energies. So stay tuned. We're going to roll into the astrological weather over on the Empowerment Sharecast. Again, all are invited to join. If you would like a personal card pull this week, let me know. Let's get into it. All right, let's get into some energetic weather for this week. Happening right here and now, we have June 15th, the first aspect, big one that we're highlighting, Jupiter square Saturn and Neptune. So Jupiter squaring both Saturn and Neptune is a cosmic trend that we're going to be experiencing all month long. So for the duration of this month, Jupiter, as we talked about previously this month with Jupiter moving into Cancer as one of the biggest momentous occasions of the year astrologically, it is the expander of the zodiac. So it will essentially expand the influence of Saturn and Neptune, who both recently moved into Aries. Saturn is boundaries and physical order, whereas Neptune is ethereal and the dissolving of boundaries. So it's kind of like, when you, I'm getting like, the two ants. You have the ant that's like really stern and organized and, going by the book and following all the rules. And then the ant that's like the fun, quirky, kooky one that's kind of like out there. We're getting Saturn and Neptune energy coming together in fiery Aries, now squared Jupiter in Cancer. So, again, Saturn is harsh reality, whereas Neptune is our dreams and imagination. So having these two energies come together and the addition of Jupiter creates this powerful portal for manifesting. We can turn our dreams, Neptune, into reality, Saturn. And Jupiter helps to magnify our potential. And, we may also find, however, that this combination of energy can bring us face to face with some harsh realities or get us thinking about the unhealthy ways in which we escape reality. So we may find that we cannot outrun our responsibilities or karmic duties. So it really is like push come to shove, both of these kind of polar opposite energies in terms of, getting down to business, down to brass tacks and doing the things. And then like the dreams and the imagination and all of that, having to just fish or cut bait, get to that place where we may first have to face those realities, which just are what they are. You can't pass go without these things can't come with you, or that's not going to fly. So again, that type of energy that is just kicking off here today and will continue through this month. Now, June 17th, this week, we have Mars in Virgo. Mars enters the thoughtful and practical Virgo. So this is a great energy to help declutter our homes, especially our pantry and medicine cabinet. It's also a good time to cultivate any new healthy lifestyle routine. So once again, this is beautiful because it's all kind of unfolding in sequence here that like those are the types of things that may be optimal for achieving some of these big dreams and wishes that we have to create in our lives. Finally, we're culminating the week with June 20th to 21st. Again, Saturday, Sunday, depending on where you are in the world. Solstice and Cancer season. So happy birthday to all the Cancerians out there. We're celebrating the sun on this day, the solstice. In the northern hemisphere, we experience the longest day of the year, whereas in the southern hemisphere, we experience the longest night of the year. And this duality is a cosmic display of the dark and light that live within all things, and it marks our experience in this earthly realm. We cannot have the dark without the light, but dark doesn't necessarily mean bad. Dark is the hidden, the depths, and the richness of heavy emotions that fold into our being. So now for those in the southern hemisphere, this is a good time to journey into the soul and to sit with any pains or discomforts that may arise. Whereas in the northern hemisphere, we're invited to find the lightness and to celebrate all that we are. Now, of course, wherever you are in the world, you can tap into these frequencies. And as I say, we have 2 beautiful spreads and readings to support you. So there's a lot we can delve into there. Now, the solstice also marks the sun's move into Cancer. Cancer is known for its watery, heartfelt energy, but it's also a great time to find our strength and courage. And we can only do this when we feel secure and strong within ourselves. Cancer season asks us to take this journey and to mother ourselves in the ways that we've always longed to be mothered. So of course, we'll be connecting in with that energy all throughout Cancer season, just kicking off on the other end of this week. So now let's get into some of our card messages, starting with our oracle message from the Gateway of Light activation. Okay, our oracle card that's come forward to kick us off this week feels really appropriate to where we find ourselves at this time. And actually, before I read the message, I'm just going to spray a little global peace energy, the sapphire ray, the energy of peace, divine peace, and healing all across the earth and into the universe, into the galactic and beyond that we're going to talk about here with these star being healing codes. So it's saying important information, wounds are healed, recharging. The message says that there are many names for star beings, such as ETs, star people, star ancestors, sky people, and more. Whatever they're called, they are divinely inspired, evolved beings existing in the dimensions that we can't even comprehend. They are the overseers of the cosmos, and like angels, are divine expressions of the heart of Source, who are dedicated to the well-being of the entire universe. They aren't limited by time or space, for they are from a higher dimension. Their frequency healings are received on a spiritual level and can then move through our energy centers to affect the physical. These cosmic beings are interplanetary cousins and are now coming to many souls on Earth in support of healing, expansion, and harmony. Star beings exist in multiple forms and come from many different universes, but this card is a gateway that transports us to one of their healing sanctuaries. It is a gateway that is open to many different star beings, and so it doesn't stipulate which cosmic race is coming to us, but we will be receiving healing codes directly from cosmic guides. The healing can be emotional, physical, or spiritual. However it comes, know that it's a great blessing. And how you can connect is to say, "Thank you, star beings of healing, for placing your hands of light upon my being and guiding me back to my whole and healed self." So the message coming in says appropriately, if the world seems overwhelming or intense at this time, know that it's okay for you to retreat to a safe space to cleanse and recharge your energy. You may feel called to be a healer for others and share healing with the world, but please ensure you are balanced and filled up with light first. This is not the time for you to sacrifice your own well-being in order to serve others. Light beings are placing their hands upon you now, filling you with divine light that will wash away any blockages or stagnant energy standing in the way of your freedom and wholeness. Star beings are channeling healing codes and frequencies into your being, and it is important for you to stay alert for any intuitive guidance about your body so you can be restored to health once more. So it's beautiful. It really is about, and wherever you are on the spectrum of, understanding about star beings or any of those things that were being explained there with this card, think about it in terms of energy and frequency. And I love the visual. Whenever I'm sending healing, whenever I'm doing a Metatron color healing, or working with any of the archangels, I always envision those big white gossamer wings, enrobing, especially if we're talking about sending healing to the physical body, Archangel Raphael, and whatever colors are associated with that they're really wrapping their wings around. And I love that visual here around the earth, the entire earth. And so again, this is really about setting that intention and visualization and knowingness of healing coming in through you first. Get grounded, bring it up through the chakras, and then sending out into the world. So really beautiful energy, very timely coming in here to anchor us in to set off for our week ahead messages culminating into solstice. So let's go ahead and take a look now at the tarot messages for the week, see what's coming up. All right, here we go. First card coming up Monday, this beautiful, adorable Six of Cups. So in the card pull, I was saying how perfect this is because I do plan tomorrow, Monday, as I'm recording this, to cleanse, clear, and set our solstice altar with my special guest, my youngest daughter, Elena. So she will be joining us. She's 9. She's just completed 3rd grade, and she has a wonderful, beautiful Aquarian spirit and imagination. And last year, it was so fun to have her take on witch crystals and sprays. And I remember, because I was looking back at last year's little video clip, I had pulled out all of the yellow sprays, the sun and the solstice and the golden citrine and all of the yellows for summer. And she looked over just to the left of the altar and went right for the rose inner child energy. And she just picked it, and it was so perfect because, yes, of course, the summer is all about the inner child and play and this beautiful energy that the spirit that the children bring forward, which is if there's only one card in the tarot, less the sun, I would say, as well as one of those cards, but the Six of Cups, this card is the card of childhood, nostalgia, innocence, simpler times. And so I think it's beautiful because I am planning to bring that energy in tomorrow on Monday. But again, setting the tone for our week ahead is this card of the inner child. So it says working with your inner child will help to activate even more of who you are. There is a playful being ready to emerge and play once again. Allow the feelings of joy and free spirit to activate your senses and undiscovered creativity. Dig into your past lives, whether that be from your lifetimes on Earth or your galactic heritage. We're getting a lot of galactic references this week, so just note to self. Return to places where you used to live or revisit memories through old photographs. Reminiscing can bring your attention to your heart space, bringing forth love and harmony to present relationships and family members here and now. So, inner child, reflecting back, nostalgia, simpler times, but also can bring up some of those old wounds. And yes, another interpretation of the Six of Cups is karmic relationships, siblings, and sibling-like connections with others. There's a lot of beautiful references. So this is just kind of setting that template for us this week. I think for sure, just that reminder that as you're setting your intentions and envisioning, as I was talking about in the energetic weather, this meeting of Saturn and Neptune, the two ants, which is funny because they were like masculine energy but I'm saying, I don't know, I just got the quirky ant for Neptune is what came in for me. But I'm saying, it's all in the family. Of course, it's Cancer season coming right up. Of course. One of those key things of saying I don't know what brings me joy. I don't know what makes me happy. One of the best things you can do is reminisce into childhood and remember what you love to do. What did you do instinctually? What did you want to be when you grew up? Without any, explanations about what's possible or impossible. that is often a huge hint towards your joy, your happiness. So we'll see where it goes, but definitely feeling that coming in beautifully. And now I just infused that rose inner child, which of course I will definitely be bringing in for our summer solstice altar, along with whatever else Elena Joy chooses for us. So again, stay tuned for that this week as well. Let's take a look now at Tuesday's energy. All right. Tuesday is our potential block or challenge. And we have a beautiful Queen of Crystals or Queen of Pentacles showing up this week. And this is such a fun card. And I have to zoom in for some of my fellow furry friend lovers. There are some of us here that will understand the squirrel reference and the bunny reference. So you may have noticed that joining me on the altar space since April has been this little bunny card holder back here, which is in honor of my beautiful friend Barb, who passed in April. So that bunny stays with me because it's one of the many signs from Spirit that she sends me regularly. So I love that the bunny is showing up to wink at me here as well. So the potential block or challenge coming in this week from a Queen of Crystals let's feel into this, because this is really a beautiful energy. She really embodies being practical and down to earth as the ultimate working mother. She's like the matriarch and, self-made. And it's definitely a very feminine energy. It doesn't mean, of course, woman or female, as it is accessing that feminine archetype, but the ultimate working mother. So you have created a life for yourself and your family where you balance your responsibilities, home life, and work. You are independent within a dependent unit. You know the true value of family, financial stability, and your spiritual connection to the outer realms of the universe. Your energy is magnetic, drawing others into your light to gain from your inner wisdom, support, and unconditional love. Now, that sounds great, and that's what I aspire to be, but I feel how this is coming up for me. Because as I mentioned, like I said, many of us, especially if we have younger children or just schedule changes happening, this is going to be the first week here that all the kids are home. So listen to this potential, way that this can show up as a challenge. Family is important to you, but at the moment, you are not feeling grounded. You may be putting more time and energy into your work rather than your heart space and family, or vice versa. Seek to clear out energetic blockages and ideas that are rooted in material attachments. Get back to what you value the most. So yeah, like I said, I have a lot of personal examples coming up for me that are challenging me right now. So I'm understanding the energy of this card through that lens, but this could come up for you very differently. And this can be challenges all the way down into the pentacles. The pentacles, the crystals here are about money, safety, security, having enough, feeling like we have enough, feeling like we are enough or contributing enough, and all those enoughisms. So how might that be hitting for you? So this would be one just to kind of, if anything's jumping out, if you want to, kind of feel into it more for you from a personal perspective and you'd like a personal card pull, just let me know. But I'm making some mental notes that I know how it is those first weeks of summer. So wherever you are on that spectrum, let's chat if it's coming up for you as well. All right, let's take a look now at Wednesday's energy. All right, Wednesday represents our midweek blessing, and we have the beautiful 8 of Wands. And this is really a card of rapid, energy speeding up. Wands are fire. And I always think of these wands as like irons in the fire, arrows in the quiver, things really coming at, like really getting moving. And so again, you could be very busy. You could have a lot of, engagements and things going on. It is still Gemini season up until the 20th. So it's a very social time. There's a lot of invitations. There's a lot of things to do and people to see and potential for peopling. That yes, there's blessings in all of it. It also can be, quite exhausting at times. So just depending on how it's coming up for you, this is a blessing. So let's feel into, how it's showing up collectively as a blessing. The message from the Ascension Tarot is saying, You have attained great clarity and transformation is inevitable. You have reached a higher dimensional level of understanding and your spiritual awareness is opening up quickly. Manifestation is happening at rapid speed. All blockages are being removed, allowing for fast action flow. Travel may be in the works for you. Think fast, act fast. The doors are wide open for you. So yeah, it's things picking up. Yes, you may be traveling, you may be planning a trip, you may be actually out and about. There's so many different ways that this can show up, but there's just this energy of things happening really quickly. And, I'll just give you one quick, like I said, the last week with the magician, and being hit in the pentacles. So simultaneously, the challenge of some pentacles problems that were going on, and then wanting to set some intentions for abundance and wanting to sort of manifest, just what was needed. And I was thinking big and I'm doing, what they say you ought to do to really envision yourself and just this clear passage and all this abundance is going to come pouring in. And then saying, wait, where's my pentacles? What's going on? And, it was really a reminder to look at each one of these wands, as the stepping stones, as the arrows that are moving in the direction. And you may remember we had the full moon in Sagittarius, which is the archer, which is lining up that arrow and going for it, right? But what happened for me was it happened in these little tiny increments where, I received a booking and somebody put a couple extra dollars in there to help cover the fees that I encounter when something is booked. And it was like, wow, thank you. I really appreciate that abundance, that momentum happening. And then I woke up the next morning and there was another, and it was just really getting things moving in terms of little bits coming in. But furthermore, having some appointments that I had to make where I was like, I wonder how I'm going to pay for that appointment, And then I remembered I had received a gift certificate and I totally forgot. And this to me was the message of the magician of last week and the week before. You already have all the tools you need. You just have to have a willingness to use those tools, to hone your craft. And what I feel is that once we shift our perspective for how specifically we expect that to look and how it's going to show up, and we may, it's tricky because it's a practice that we're learning, that we're saying, well, wait a minute, I thought I was supposed to put it out there into the universe, the home, the car, the job, the lifestyle, all the things that I want and think big and expansive. And now I'm looking at the calendar and like, where's it at? When's it going to happen? And yet, when you're on the other side, we start to see how bit by bit, wand by wand, it all started to come together. And so, when we shift our perspective and now I get it, now I'm like, oh, okay, maybe if I, sort through this growing pile of, white envelopes that are going on here, I found a little check for $8 or I found a little something that, that's where it is. And it's not just about that. I'm saying that with the Queen of Pentacles and her challenges, but also this beautiful energy of the momentum, the fire, the wands getting moving. So it's a blessing. And sometimes it's a blessing in disguise. Sometimes it calls for us to be creative, which is the fire, which is the wands. It's really accessing that sacral chakra energy. Think outside the box and look for it in creative ways and in expectant ways. What is meant for me will never pass me by. It's already on its way to me. Just because I can't see it, because I haven't perceived of it yet, doesn't mean that it isn't happening. So setting that there, let's take a look now at Thursday's energy. All right, Thursday is bringing in our how are we growing this week and throughout this month, this season? And we got the card of death and rebirth, which is beautiful and gorgeously depicted here. As I pointed out in the card pull, that we have this gateway portal to rebirth, to renewal, to what lies on the other side of this metamorphosis, of this cocoon, of this shedding of the skin. So this is a significant card. It's actually our only major arcana card this week. And bringing in this energy of transformation. So it says transformation is happening in your life. everything that no longer serves you is falling away. Life is happening for you, not at you. Pain and fear is an illusion. Let go of the need to control and to hang on to the past. A fresh new start is awaiting you. The longer that you stay in a negative mindset, the harder it will be to move ahead. Let go and move into the unknown. Your guides are with you on this journey and would never take you anywhere that was not good for your soul. Accept what is happening. When one door closes, another opens. Embrace this new way of life. And so, it's beautiful because when we surrender to that, when we allow that, that is when we start to see bit by bit, layer by layer, it begins to come together and make sense. And, we're growing into that knowing that we just begin to see this in between differently. If you're here, if you're tuning in, if you're being very conscious about the way that you're taking these steps, then you're bringing with you that awareness. And so whatever comes your way, again, it takes that gray cloud aspect of like, why is this happening to me? And all of that perspective, which is a victimhood mentality. And, I get it. In that frequency, it makes a whole heck of a lot of sense. You're right. There is a whole long line of things that have happened to you, like the person who, you get a flat tire, you spill coffee on your shirt, somebody cuts you off in traffic and it just keeps snowballing from there. Flip side, you could have a positive momentum of things that get going that create the ability for one blessing after another. Which one do you want? Which one do you want to tune into? How do you want to see your circumstances? So, it's giving us this opportunity to look ahead into the new through this lens of, I actually can't wait to shed some of these things because I'm ready to feel lighter. I'm ready to feel freer. I'm ready to level up. And so how much longer do I want to procrastinate? The longer I spend in this old skin that doesn't fit me anymore, the longer it's going to be before I am feeling like the new me. So, there is this sense of shifting our perspective and then rapid speed blessing coming in. Like once we do that, it all starts coming together and gets moving. And the last card is supporting that notion as well because it's the air element coming in, which is very quick thinking, quick moving as well. So let's take a look at that last tarot card and then we'll finish up with our Seasons of the Witch message for solstice. All right, it is finally Friday here as we move through the spread and we have our last tarot card for the week. I love it. This Page of Swords, bringing in the air element with this youthful energy again. I'm loving all of this, the little bits that are giving us a nod. It's so cute. I see a bike here. For example, my son is away this week at the beach with his grandmother and aunt and his cousin. I mean, again, I understand this spread fully for me this week with like the family and the connections and he is 12 and he never learned to ride a bike. He didn't have an interest in it. He had some issues with his hand coordination and such as when he was a lot younger and he just never learned. And now the boys are coming around on their bikes and he kind of gets left behind. And today they were letting me know from the beach that his cousin is teaching him to ride a bike. And I'm so excited because I'm proud of him because it's embarrassing, to admit that he doesn't know how to ride a bike and all the things. So anyway, I'm just getting a big old nod to, tarot imitating life and coming up. And this is, and what I hope I'm conveying to you is when you're reading intuitively, if you see something that looks like someone or brings to mind a particular person or situation or circumstance, I see a bicycle, I see, all these different things that jump out at me, the bunny, the squirrel, all those things, then this is all woven into the messages that are coming in from your higher self and that you're tuning into. So for this one, Friday is wrapping up the week, wrapping up Gemini season because the 20th at the end of the day and into the next day, depending on, again, where you are in the world, Gemini hands it off to Cancer. So this is perfect for finishing out the season. Page of Swords. It says you learn through social settings, and by asking a lot of questions, you invest time and energy into learning more and more. You are a truth seeker, holding truth at a high degree. You know which questions to ask to get straight to the point. A favorite question of the Page of Swords is, why? You love to communicate. With a thirst for knowledge, you can never have enough information attained within you. You are ready to take all this information and share it with the world. So yeah, this is a card. Pages are messengers. So there is an arrival of this energy of inquisitiveness, of curiosity, of asking why and turning the page and looking at it from all different perspectives. And gleaning your own world view is another thing I'm getting there. So yeah, my ear's ringing. So, we've come through from this star being and the healing codes and this energy of sending the vibration of sapphire divine peace throughout the world and universe at large. And now we end with this youthful energy of messenger coming in with just asking, keeping that open mind, that curious mind, and many different perspectives. Again, worldview, standing on the world with that beautiful energy coming in. And I love that we have the telescope because, again, we're going wide. We're seeing things from all different angles and different perspectives. And when we do, perspectives tend to change, right? We tend to get a little more understanding that we didn't previously have. So I think, from the micro to the macro, information coming in at rapid speeds currently and calling for your staying open to questioning and questioning some more, keeping curious and, kind of approaching it from that perspective. He's so cute. He has binoculars too, doesn't he? Yeah, I love it. Yeah, so there's all the things about examining it from every angle, and the mind and the beliefs and the ideas and the curiosity and the flower of life and what makes it all go with the bike. Beautiful. I love it. What a beautiful card. So that's culminating our tarot messages for the week to kind of continue to unfold as we go. Let's take a look now at our final card coming at us from the Seasons of the Witch for Litha. All right, the final card for this week is our oracle message from Seasons of the Witch for Litha, or Midsummer, the solstice. And we got the card of Sunstone, card 40, with these key words of opportunities, unexpected luck, and fame. And it says, in the uniqueness of who you are lives a world yet to be discovered. And so the message says, Sunstone is a stone of success that shows you talents that are unique to you, draws good luck, and increases your opportunities. Additionally, it stimulates leadership qualities, unlocking your ability to dance to the beat of your own drum. The lesson here is that when you are true to yourself, success, fame, and wealth naturally follow. Yeah, this is connected to what we were just saying in the previous cards. Your greatest asset is that no one else on the planet is like you. You can do the same things as someone else in the exact same way. And still, the outcomes will be different because the people are different. Likewise, you can be the most talented person in the room, but someone who is willing to look silly, if it means standing out, is more likely to be noticed despite being less talented, educated, or capable. Successful people stand out from the crowd, and the best way of doing that is letting your weirdness out to play. You are likely receiving this card because you're seeking recognition in some way, such as putting yourself up for a promotion, looking for ways to increase customers, or you're ready to start dating, for example. Don't get lost in the stream of familiarity by doing what everyone else is doing. Play close. Yeah, it actually says play close attention to those little details that set you apart. That's a fun little flub on the words because I'm sure it means pay close attention, but it says play. And remember, we've got all these cards for the inner child coming up, and we're stepping into solstice, and we are talking about letting that weirdness go, letting it flow, stepping into whatever brings you joy. So I love that that's there. Play close attention to those little details that set you apart and put them on display. Others will find these quirks to be endearing, intriguing, useful, or downright entertaining. It really doesn't matter as long as it leads you to the right opportunities. Perfect. Yeah, I mean, aligning yourself with what brings you joy is where you start, and it grows out from there, like her eyebrows on this card, you know? It's like, I'm here for it. I see these like, you know, seedlings growing from there, and it's kind of cool because one eye is blue, one eye is green. So, you know, you can read into this any number of ways with the layers of meaning you can glean from this card in terms of, you know, the elements and, you know, again, as within, so without, as above, so below, you know, just beautiful messages that are coming forward through the gift of the sun, and that we will continue to step into. Like I said, this card is just kicking off the solstice messages we'll be diving into for those special readings. And again, on the other side here, I'm going to share with you the link to booking where you can book either the summer or the winter solstice. I have a few bookings already. And as I said, once the altar is set, I'll begin tuning in, and those will be rolling out over the coming month. So if you're interested in snagging one of those, just let me know or check the link that I'll be putting here. And I will be doing those in the order that they are booked. They're always fun. And again, great as a checkpoint throughout the year to see where things are at. And if you did have previously with me a year ahead reading or an equinox reading, we will look back at what came forward for you at those times and weave that into the personal messages that are coming forward for this new season. All right, guys, thank you so much for being here. I'm sending you all much love and many blessings. Take good care.